Hi, so today's video has been 8 years in the making. Yep, 8 years. In today's video, I'm talking about fibroids, a condition which affects up to 80% of women by the time they're age 50. I'm giving you emotional and mental health tools, easy food tips, and exercises that you can use pretty much from today to help reduce the size of fibroids and reduce the effects of the symptoms of fibroids. Now, the reason why I said 8 years in the making is because I was diagnosed with fibroids and severe endometriosis when I was age 35 in 2016, just before I turned 36. And now I'm in a place of I am not a victim. I am not those conditions that I was diagnosed with, but I've now come so far in my healing journey that I'm able to come to you and encourage you if you're someone who has been diagnosed with fibroids, whether recently or a while ago, or you know someone who is going through it, or just for your own information to have tools that you can share with other women, then, I'm here for that. And I'm so grateful to be in this position as well. Over the years, the specialists have always said that if I had not been eating healthy and exercising, despite the symptoms that I was getting over the years, I wouldn't have progressed as well as I did. There was shock as well because sometimes what they were seeing, diagnosing me with on paper, and then what they were seeing in front of them as I went through all my many appointments over the years was different. I could have been in a worse off condition if I hadn't been using a healthy eating lifestyle. So there is healing in what we eat. There is healing in movement. So never underestimate that. And of course, I was using other things as well, as anyone else would do. But I really credit my healthy lifestyle to the healing that I got. So today I'm not going to delve too deeply into my personal story. I will do in future in different ways on different platforms. But today I'm just giving you a snippet so you can understand my perspective, not only as a holistic health, nutrition, and exercise coach, but also as someone who has walked the journey, still in the journey, although I've progressed really far into it, and somebody who has walked the walk and used the tools that I'm going to talk about today. I really hope that this will encourage even one of you out there. So here goes. What are fibroids? Fibroids are non-cancerous growths in the uterus or part of the womb. The causes are not very clear, but some causes which have been stated by the medical community are having them in your family. So you might have a family history of fibroids, genetics, being unhealthy, obesity. For myself, though, that wasn't the case when I was diagnosed. I had just come out of several competitions as a fitness model within the Australian bodybuilding industry. Other reasons which have been stated for fibroids are having a diet which is rich in red meat and also having excessive alcohol. Honestly, guys, today's video took me forever to record because I just, it's not a sadness that I feel, but it's just like, I can't believe that I've gotten to this point. But the first thing I will say is God is in my story. For me to be here today, alive and well, and so much further down than where I was, it's definitely my faith first. It's God first. And that has really helped to push me through. And then, of course, I've used all the other holistic health things to heal as well. So yeah, that's the first thing that I want to say. But I was diagnosed in 2016 with severe endometriosis and fibroids. I had my first operation in 2017 to remove the fibroids. And my fibroids, I had several, but the biggest one was 9 centimeters. I had another one which was 7 centimeters, so they were pretty big. They took out what they could, and then had to leave some of the fibroids inside because they would then have affected me too much. My bowel at the back and my actual back were also affected. So because of that, because of the fibroids and because of the endometriosis. I'm not going to go into the endometriosis because that's a different condition, and I'll talk about that for people who are going through endometriosis, for women who are going through endometriosis at a later point as well. That's a separate video. But one of the many symptoms that I had was pain in my pelvic area, a lot of bloating, so just the stomach blowing up. It didn't blow up as much as I know that there's some other women where their tummy, they look like they're pregnant. For me, it would blow up, but it wouldn't be so noticeable, only to myself. And then I had a lot of bleeding, heavy bleeding. Over the years, I had constant hospitalizations for low iron. I had more blood transfusions than I can count. I had more iron infusions than I can count. I was constantly in the emergency room. And, whilst all this was happening, I remember 2017 when I had my first operation. That was the year that my father also passed away. So there was a lot going on. There was a lot. Yeah, and I'm laughing because I look back and I just think, I don't know how I got through that, but for the grace of God, literally, that's what it was. And I just want to thank even the people who pray with me and who know my full story, because we've just stood in prayer for years and we've seen change and we've seen God just move in amazing ways. If I wasn't telling you some of my story right now, you wouldn't even know that I'd been through that. But yeah, I was really, really ill. And a lot of things had to change for me. The way I ate, I became much stricter. And I've used a naturopath. So I use the Melbourne Natural Medicine Clinic. There's a naturopath that I use there. I'll just say her first name, Rebecca, and she's just been amazing in the things that she's prescribed, natural supplements. And of course, I've used the medical side as well. I've had to use that, but I've always been someone who's believed and lived on the natural side of things. So I credit that a lot more to helping me, in as much as I'm also grateful for what the medical side of things has done as well to assist. So yeah, so that's a snippet of my story. But over the years, I would say that the most healing has come from the tools I'm going to give you today. I'm not able to give you all the tools, but I'm going to give you a snippet of the tools that I've used that have helped me to heal and become so much better and reduce the size of my fibroids. I had another operation in 2018. No, it was 2019 where 2020, my bad. 2020, where I had my second operation to remove more fibroids. And then from there, I would say 2020 to now is where I've seen the most progression with my health, really leaning on naturopathy, so using natural medicine, leaning on healthy eating, which I've always done, but my diet is very much focused around foods which help my womb. And you'll have noticed even on my social media pages, if you're someone who follows my Instagram, I have talked a lot about womb health. I've done videos on endometriosis and fibroids in the past as well, and that's linked to my personal story, although I've never spoken about it. And because I've been through the journey of endometriosis and fibroids, over the years, I've started to have a lot more clients, female clients, not by intention or purpose. I really believe that it's God bringing them that have had those conditions, and I've been able to help them and encourage them. So that's been a huge blessing. So now let's go on to the tools that you can use. So in the kitchen, and as I always say, This is where it all begins. This is where the healing starts, with what you eat. So one of the important things to note about fibroids is you should focus on estrogen reducing foods. Now, estrogen is a female sex hormone, and it's responsible for your menstrual cycle, for regulating the reproductive system, and also for sexual development in young women. So if you have excess estrogen, it can actually cause fibroids. And when you have fibroids, excess estrogen makes the symptoms worse. So if you're having pelvic pain, it can make it worse. So estrogen reducing foods is where it's at, baby. And I'm just going to show you some of my personal favorite foods that I love that are estrogen reducing and really good for reducing the symptoms of fibroids and also reducing the size of fibroids. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is beetroot juice. And I love beetroot juice. So you can do what I do and have a bottle of fresh or high quality, I should say, organic juice in your fridge. So I have this, but this will only last me a few days because I'll have a nice medium-sized glass of this. But what you can do is you can take a powder as well. So you can get a powder and the powder will last you longer because you can put, for example, a tablespoon in your smoothie and the powder will last you several months, especially if you're using it in conjunction with other superfood powders. Now, the great thing about beetroot for women with fibroids is that it's a good iron source. When you have fibroids, I know for myself, you can get very heavy bleeding, and this is a good source to replenish what you've lost from bleeding. That purple, beautiful color that it has is from a pigment called betalain, and betalain has great antioxidant properties. So antioxidants fight all sorts of conditions that we face nowadays, including fibroids, and anti-inflammatory properties as well. So with fibroids, you can tend to get very bloated, very uncomfortable in this area. So reducing inflammation is a plus, plus, plus. And the great thing about beetroot is that it's good for your digestion and helps with things like constipation, which is common when you have fibroids. Beetroot is also great for your skin, so hey, you might as well get your skin glow while you're getting all the other benefits of reducing the symptoms of fibroids. Women with fibroids tend to have high blood pressure. I was diagnosed with high blood pressure years ago, but beetroot juice is one of the things that you can use to stabilize high blood pressure. You can also check out the video that I did above on reducing high blood pressure using natural methods. So a fruit which is really good if you've got fibroids is pomegranates. So pomegranates can either be had as the fruit itself, or you could buy a high quality organic pomegranate juice. So, hey, wait a minute. Try saying pomegranate really fast. Pomegranate. Anywho, the cool thing about pomegranates is that they are great for fertility and also they are an adaptogen. So what that means is that if your estrogen levels are too high, they actually block the stronger levels of estrogen. And if your estrogen levels are too low, they bring them up to a healthier level. How awesome is that? Greens, greens, baby. Greens, 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 baby. This is a good mic. Anyway, after that introduction, greens, greens, greens. Greens are so good for you if you have fibroids. Have as many greens as you can in your smoothies, in your meals. I throw in greens in all my meals, including breakfast. So whether it's a smoothie or if I'm having my scrambled eggs, then I'm having a salad on the side as well. So cruciferous vegetables like those in the cabbage family are great. They are estrogen reducing, as are all the other green vegetables like spinach, kale, broccoli, green beans. Anything green in the veggie family is good. It's also great for your digestion because constipation is a pain when you have fibroids, but it will also help with giving you that good fiber. So You know, if you're trying to lose weight as well, the fiber will keep you fuller for longer. It will help to reduce bloating and constipation. Firm favorites of mine, especially because I've been having a lot of pumpkin and carrot soup this winter. Carrots are good for helping reduce the symptoms of fibroids because of the beta carotene within them. So when they are digested, the beta carotene turns into vitamin A, which helps with repairing and the growth of healthy tissues in the body, which can help to treat fibroids. Also, beta carotene is known for boosting fertility, and fertility can be something that is affected when you have fibroids. So anything that helps with that fertility, girl, get on it. So you're soon going to know I'm holding this packet. Actually need to get some more. But mushrooms are good for helping with fibroid symptoms as well. And the reason this is because they help to reduce pelvic inflammation, and they also boost the immune system. So because they've got that good amount of antioxidants. Any food which helps with your immune system will be good because it will help to fight the condition itself, not only other conditions, but also reduce the effect of having fibroids. So immune system boosting foods are good. So with mushrooms, make sure you get a good quality type of mushroom. Make sure that they are organic if you can get organic. If you can't, just make sure that they're good quality. So the reason why I'm holding this is because I love my coffee, but I have to have it in minimal doses. Being someone who has had fibroids and is going through a journey of continuous healing. And with coffee, I get a good quality coffee. I have one coffee a day, and this one is a healthier coffee. It has mushrooms, so it's got lion's mane and chaga, and those are really good for the brain as well. But at the same time, I'm also getting the benefits for just keeping my womb healthy too. So I put these three musketeers together in one plate. So there's ginger, mint in the middle, and turmeric, and they have similar properties. So for example, they are full of antioxidants, so really good at fighting all sorts of diseases and conditions. They are good for your immune system. And the healthier your immune system is, the better your health will be overall, even if you are having fibroids. You'll just be better able to manage, and your body will be able to fight off those unwanted symptoms. They're also really good for your digestion, so helping with reducing bloating, constipation, abdominal and pelvic pain, and that uncomfortable feeling you can get in that area, in the womb area, because of the fibroids. Also, if you're on a healthy weight maintenance or weight loss journey, these are really good to incorporate as part of your diet. So mint is really good for reducing stress. And what you could do is you could use that in a tea at any time of the day. And reducing stress is so important, as I talk about when I go into the emotional tools coming up next. Okay, I'm out here in lovely nature, and one of the important things with fibroids is really keeping your stress levels as low as possible. So I'm out here because nature really helps me to keep my stress levels down. It relaxes me, and I've noticed the link that the more stressed I am, the more I get flare-up. So if I'm really stressed, I will get a flare-up in my abdominal area. I will have cramps, I will have pain. So since being diagnosed with fibroids 8 years ago, I've really learned how to manage and reduce my stress as much as is possible. So one of the things that I do is spend a lot of time in nature, and also getting good sleep is so important. I've always had bad sleep, and this has been the case for years and years, but ever since I got diagnosed with fibroids, I've really had to work much more on my sleep, because that links to reducing my stress and just helping me to stay in a relaxed level. So if you have fibroids, make sure that you also check out my video on how to get better sleep. Some of the ways that I use to get better sleep are essential oils. I love essential oils. They are beneficial because you can use them for multiple purposes. So not only better sleep, but also reducing stress. And you can also get essential oils that are good for the reproductive system. So things like lemon oil. And dare I say, understandable that when you're first diagnosed with fibroids and as you progress through the journey, you might start to link yourself and your worth with the condition, which is not the truth. You are not the fibroids. You are not defined by the condition. So it really is about separating yourself from the condition and understanding that you are worth it, you are worthy, you are still valuable, you're still a high value woman, even though you've been told that you have this condition. So for myself, it's about speaking to myself in a positive way. Over the 8 years, I've learned, so it's been a journey. I've learned now to speak to myself positively constantly and to believe it and to embrace it. So one of the things that I do is I constantly speak positively to my womb. Because I'm a Christian, reading the word and then speaking the word to my womb is what works for me. For you, it might be something different. It might be saying positive words, but if you're someone of faith, speaking the word directly to your womb helps. And I do that every day. And it's really helped. One thing that I did over the course of time when I was feeling a lot of shame and feeling bad about myself, just as a woman, as a person, because of it, is I did 21 days where I journaled and I wrote down the things. I started off the sentence with "I am," and then I would say something about myself, not about work or about what I do, but what am I? Who am I? Looking at the person. Again, I would draw things from the Bible, from verses, but I would also talk about other things like I am kind. Another important mental health tool that I used was therapy. So I've done counseling for many years, but talking to someone who is neutral and talking about my feelings and what I was going through in dealing with the diagnosis and then going through, operations and constant appointments and really trying to find a balance with my health. It really helped to talk it out with somebody who could listen and from a professional point of view, give me tools to help me. And it helped my self-esteem, it helped my confidence, and it also showed me the link of things from childhood, traumatic events that had happened throughout my life that also linked to my womb, because the womb is the center for us women. And when traumatic things happen, it can affect our womb too. So there's so much, but you can do it. Starting to exercise or keeping your exercise routine is really important when you have fibroids, because exercise will help to reduce the risk of further fibroids developing. It also boosts your overall health, including mental and physical. So things like weight loss, because weight gain is one of the symptoms of fibroids. Exercise is a plus for reducing lower back and pelvic pain, particularly because you're strengthening your core as you exercise. So one of the things that had to change for me, and often does for women with fibroids, is reducing the amount of weight that you lift. So I went from lifting really heavy to going to light to medium weight, because heavy weight puts a lot of pressure on my abdominal area and it feels uncomfortable and can also lead to heavy bleeding. These are the types of weights that I use, especially when I'm working out from home. And I love resistance bands because you can play around with the weight and ensure that you're comfortable. Girl, we ain't gonna pick up no uterus from the floor. So you gotta make sure the weight is working for you. Core activation is really important because it will help you reduce lower back and pelvic pain and also make your exercises for weight loss more effective. So here I'm doing a standing one. And what I do for core activation is blow the belly out, inhale through the nose, then you exhale through the mouth, suck that tummy in and count for 5 seconds here. 3, 4, 5. And then you blow your belly out again. While you're inhaling through the nose, exhale through the mouth, draw that tummy in and count for 5. It takes some practice, but you just need to keep repeating it. So the easier version is on your knees. So here I'm going down onto the knees, doing core activation. And what you're doing is blowing that tummy out. So blow it out, inhaling through the nose, exhale through the mouth, suck the tummy in and hold it for 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's do it one more time. So blow it out, inhaling through the nose, then you exhale through the mouth, draw your tummy in and count for 5 seconds. So over time, you can go up to 20 seconds. This can be done 3 sets before you start your exercise or any time during the day. The plank is a great one for your kit bag for strengthening your core during those weeks where your pelvic area is not feeling too comfortable. So you can either go onto your toes, or if that's too hard, go onto your knees, draw your belly button in towards the spine, hold that nice and tight, keep breathing gently. Do 3 sets times 20 seconds holds. Leg raises are good for strengthening the core and flattening the tummy if you're looking for weight loss or healthy weight maintenance goals. Some weeks it will be hard to do leg raises with the legs straight like I had there. So what you would do is bend the knees, and I do this in weeks where I have flare-ups, and you're bringing your heels to the ground. So I want you to really focus on drawing your belly button in towards the spine before you lift up your legs. So I'm going to demonstrate that with my hand. So you're going to put your leg down, your legs, draw your belly button up. So it's like a puppet is pulling your belly button up towards your head, and then raise your legs up with your belly button tightened. So draw it up, hold it tight, lift up the legs. So you're really using the strength from your belly button to lift up the legs. I love this move because not only does it strengthen your core, reducing pelvic pain, but it also strengthens your lower back, which will help with the back pain that we often get from having fibroids. So besides that, you can also incorporate weight. So in good weeks where you're feeling comfortable, you can use the weight to work your arms, and you're also working your glutes. So to make this move harder, instead of bringing your knee just down to the middle onto the mat, you can keep your knee up in the air, and that way you're working your core harder and everything else as well. So you can do 3 sets and do 30 seconds on each side. Or you can do 3 sets and count 15 reps on each side. Walking is our bestie, baby. It's a great alternative in terms of cardio. It's low impact, but still gives you great results if you're looking to lose weight or maintain a healthy weight. It definitely puts less pressure on my pelvic area. So I have ditched the running and do lots of walks. And then in the gym, I also use the elliptical trainer, which is less pressure. Combine walking with full body exercises and your core work for good results. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you share it with someone who you know will benefit from it. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care wherever you are in the world.